It's on! Hey guys, what's up? It's Drinkwater here. Once again, feeling like I'm from fucking, I don't know if you guys saw the movie The Martian. I'm sending you messages from afar. My caffeine addiction is so bad that I guess I drink energy drinks in front of you anyways. What's up? So today's class is dedicated towards reading through the next segment of your paper assignment. I think, yeah. So basically, we've talked about this in class, like recursive learning. We're really just, and you're probably like, Drinkwater, I'm so fucking tired writing about this. That's how good thoughts happen. You know what I mean? We can just toss thoughts into the trash like fucking. I guess Tender would probably say used condoms. I'm blaming that on Tender, so you don't say my professor's talking about used condoms or last year's shoes. There you go. Don't fucking let your parents hear me say condoms. Last year's shoes. So initially you wrote about the social norm through Tender's eyes, and then I had you write an exploratory draft to sort of think about this topic, and now this next instance is a full rough draft about this topic. If you're on Schoology, you'll see a link to the paper right down there, or if you're not, I'm about to read it with you. It's a rough draft. That's like a real side. That's actually a real side. I've never taught online before, guys. I've never taught an essay online before. I don't know how it's going to go for any of us, right? Like, let's just be real. If you're frustrated with it, I'm sorry, right? Like, I hope you extend me the charity that I've extended you, which is to say, like, I'm just learning this shit as I go. None of us were prepared for this. I've never taught a thesis online, right? I'm fucking spending so much time in Microsoft Word creating graphics to try and illustrate like what I want you to do. You can see my leg. Look at that. You can see me. I'm wearing sweatpants. Look at that. Drinkwater's wearing sweatpants. Didn't expect you to see that, but here we are. I'm comfortable. It's fucking 9 o'clock at night, dude. What am I gonna do? I'm gonna wear a tie. Maybe I'm gonna wear a tie in one of these videos. So, as I said, let's just read through the assignment. Essay number 7. Whew, I've had you guys reading and writing a lot. It's due May 3rd. Way later than I want it to be, but everything's slow in this new virtual world. This is me really worrying about how quickly I'm going to be able to get these essays back to you so you can write a final draft. Length 3 to 4 pages, whatever, 3 pages. Pull up the assignment, please, if you can get to it, so we can look at this together. If you're in Schoology, it should be like down there. So it says, okay, friends, it's time to write that full rough draft. We've discussed the paper in class. We've generated exploratory drafts and analyzed our own writing. We've endured feedback from me. If you've written this, you've gotten feedback from me. If you haven't written this, I don't know, man. Write the exploratory draft. Write the exploratory draft. Now it's time to begin generating the paper proper, right? All we've learned through this semester is that proper is just what people who are more powerful than you and I can come together and determine. The big difference this time is that you're going to bring in outside texts, Bayesian, RFK, Havrilsky, Bacevich, to support your claims. Now, this week and today, we're going to work on just like thinking about the concept of a thesis statement, which is to say, like, well, what is a thesis statement? It's the engine that drives your essay, right? Next week, since we have essentially like 10 days to do this draft together, we're going to get really into quotations. And a lot of people and students in the drafts who did the exploratory draft is like, Drinkwater, I have a hard time using quotes. Say 2 things. 1, we're going to work on it together, virtually, whatever that looks like. I don't know yet. Stick with me. Again, please show me the same patience that I'm trying to show everyone, because this is hard. This is hard for me. I'm not accustomed to teaching this way. So we're going to work on it together next week. We're going to, 2, do not forget that if you've done your triple entry notes, you literally have like 15 weeks worth of quotes. You have a whole repository that you can go back into and pull from. I'm actually very happy we went digital with triple entry notes. I just realized that, dude, what would I have done if we hadn't set up triple entry notes digitally at the beginning of the semester? I'd be absolutely fucked. We'd be fucked. I mean, we'd figure something out, but it would just be another headache. for me and my sweatpants. I'm wearing UMass Boston sweatpants right now too. Honestly, I want to show you, but I'm also like talking about the paper. Can I show you if I go this way? I wanted to, I wanted to give you a different look at my room. You can see my cat's paw. If you see a little white thing on the futon, it's my cat Hadley. Hadley, can you hear her? There she is. Anyways, she's my cat. I love her much. Let's talk about this. Let's look at the paper, right? So I'm not going to type out the entire prompt again because that's so many words. You have the exploratory draft, the prompt, but the three main questions of the draft are: what is the social norm that your paper is challenging, and how would you argue our culture trains us to accept this norm? Let's just say marriage. Some people have written about marriage. The social norm I'm challenging is marriage. Marriage is this and that. We accept it. We spend $1 million on fucking wedding photos. And then the second part, and what a lot of people are really pushed for in their drafts, was like, you need to explain how we just come to accept it, right? 1 million movies about marriage. 1 million advertisements about marriage. 1 million TV shows about marriage. And very specific what expensive ass marriage is, right? These are not like, let's just go down to City Hall and live our lives. No, it's like, let's spend $70,000 on photographs no one's going to give one solitary fuck about. Okay. 2, the second section of your paper. Now that you've introduced the social norm and explained how we're conditioned into accepting it, what does it reflect about our culture? This is where you can bring in Bacevich. Bacevich argues that we define freedom as consumer, or Bajent argues like, it reflects that we live in a very superficial society where the most important thing about a marriage is the centerpieces, right? Or RFK, we've defined, if maybe yours is the idea of success or home ownership. It's like, well, we've just come to value our values determined by our bank accounts, right? So this thing you've chosen, this social norm, marriage, clothing, people have written about social media. Social media is an interesting one, right? Because you can sort of argue it's a social media reinforces itself, right? Because social media, by virtue of existing, reinforces social media, which reinforces social media. Blah. Anyways, nonetheless. And then finally, the third section of your paper, it could be the third paragraph. Or, well, you're going to need an intro. You're going to need whatever. We'll talk about that later. Finally, can we successfully challenge this norm to gain our own agency? Can we challenge the concept of marriage? You could be like, well, of course, I've looked at marriage, I've contemplated it, I've realized that it's tied into consumerism and spending money. Or you could argue, you know what, dude, like my parents just like want me to get married this way, and that's sort of, we're stuck doing that, right? Like I don't really have an alternative. I have to get married this way. And that's sort of the second question in the third part, right? Is furthermore, we're challenging it be worth the impact on one's life. Maybe you're like, dude, it's not worth it for me. I'm just going to get married. I'm not going to piss my mom off. Or maybe you're like, you know what? This is my existence. I'm going to do it the way I want to do it, right? And then you are challenging it. So the aim of this essay is to create an analytical paper answering the above 3 questions with my help. And we've done so with a strong, muscular thesis that combines all 3 questions in paragraphs that tie into this thesis. So your thesis, and a lot of you, we've all heard this, right? What is a thesis? A thesis is just an argument you're making about a specific topic, right? It's all academics can dress it up, but all it is an argument, which is to say, you should say it, you should tell someone it, and they should be able to say, oh, that's interesting, or no, I disagree. If you tell someone your thesis and they can say no shit, it's not really an argument. I call it the no shit test. Here we go. You guys know me. I understand the world through Marvel movies, Star Wars movies, video games, and sports. If you told someone Tom Brady left the Patriots, they would say, no shit. But if you want to make an argument, Tom Brady left the Patriots due to friction with Bill Belichick. Now you're beginning to get that thesis. You're refining it. But you can even get it more specific, right? And in this essay, it's not your final draft. You're really going to be trying to figure out what you want to argue. You've been dancing around it, you've been attacking it, and now it's sort of, this is what I want to argue. If you say Tom Brady left the New England Patriots to pursue a career with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers due to a friction between him and Bill Belichick, which was a result of, I don't fucking know, unresolved animosity between the two of them. Now you're getting more and more specific. And if you look down on Schoology, I've created this graphic to show you like the idea of refining your thesis. And this is sort of, again, this is the theme of the day, like refining. You refine your thoughts over time. You refine your writing over time. We all do this forever. The best thinkers do it over and over and over and over. And yeah, dude, thinking is fucking exhausting. That's the athletes do the same thing with, free throws. There we go. You think LeBron James just throws 10 free throws and he's like, no, I'm good. No, dude, he does it. He does it over and over and over and over and over and over again. And then he takes time off. And then he does it over and over and over and over and over and over again. It's recursive. It never ends. Because people at the top of their game, whether they're thinkers or they're writers or they're athletes or they're nurses or they're doctors or they're physicians or they're physicists, know that you don't just complete the process ever. So if you think you've nailed the thesis, fucking wow me. Blow my mind so hard that I say this person is a finished product as a writer and a thinker. Just do it. I'd be relieved to finally meet someone who's perfect, because even my heroes who are writers and thinkers do this back and forth dance forever. And so that's the paper. Again, and then, so some people are not doing the reflective questions. There's 2 pages to every prompt, guys. And the second page is always reflective metacognitive questions to force you to think about what you're doing. I really hope you would do them, because that's what helps me guide you into the next step in the process. That's really the paper assignment. I'm sure we're all at different points in the paper assignment. I'm really hung up on, see my leg, my calf. I feel like a Victorian era woman. I shouldn't be showing you my calves. I'm gonna go to the nunnery, guys. I'm going right to the fucking nunnery, showing you my calves. Oh god. I've noticed one thing while I'm on Zooms, like, you can't really like take a drink of something and not be like compromised. Like, watch, I'm gonna like look up. You have to like look up. I need a straw. Like, you look foolish, but I'm on Zoom meetings all day with my colleagues and I just want to drink caffeine. So that's the paper on Schoology, and we're discussing the idea of thesis statements, because I want you to hone in on thesis statements. Begin thinking about the concept of them. We create them. We create them since we're freshmen in middle school. But like, we never like, well, what is a thesis statement? Why is it good? Metacognitive vision, baby. You guys read Survivor for today. You read 20, 19, and 18. If I'm being honest, those would probably be my iPad. Oh, I'm haunted. I'm losing my mind. I don't have much to say about these chapters other than the continued descent of Tender. And this is sort of what I want you to talk about, and what we're going to talk about next week. Is like, why is Tender not fulfilled? He has all this money. He has all this fame. Why is he not fulfilled? Why are we not fulfilled as peoples? What is fulfillment, right? I think it's the idea that I actually don't like this because I look like I'm possessed. I think it's the idea of, I want you to think about Tender. I want you to think about how you can relate with him. You feel like he's losing ground at all times. Like, once you're out of school and you're in the world, like, how do you intend on staying like up to date? How do you intend on staying mentally fresh? How do you intend on staying up with the times? You might see it with your parents or your grandparents, right? Like, they just like fall behind slowly because life is a gauntlet and you're just like falling behind. And our culture does not encourage. What does our culture encourage us to do? Think, question. You probably think someone's weird if you just walk by and they read fucking Ralph Waldo Emerson. You're like, what's this guy? Why is he not on Facebook? Why is he thinking these big thoughts? Or someone's like, I decided to take up pottery. You would think that's weird, but that'd be someone, improving themselves. I'm 37. I'd like to learn an instrument. People probably think it's weird if all of a sudden I started taking piano lessons, right? And what's the cost? We asked this. What's the cost of sticking outside the norm, right? Who knows? Is it worth it? Is it not worth it? Put your thing down, flip it, and reverse it. So that's that. We're just gonna focus today on like using the readings for today as like an idea to like. I'm gonna ask you to sort of evaluate thesis statements, put them in the order you think is the best, and tell me why in 3 or 4 sentences. Metacognition. Really, you have to be so metacognitive in a virtual form, right? If you have any questions, let me know. Your homework, obviously, by end of Friday, triple entry notes. For next class, for next week, begin working on your paper. If you have any questions about your paper, it's Survivor chapters 17, 16, and 15. Obviously, I'd love to see you at the Zoom. I'm just giving you bonus points for anyone who comes to the Zoom now. If you come, consider it a class no longer missed, or consider it triple entry notes no longer missed. Um, that's that. Hope you're doing well. Stay in touch. If you need anything, let me know. Godspeed. Wash your hands. Eat your vitamins. Just thinking the things Hulk Hogan said. And yeah, stay in touch, guys. If you have any questions about the paper, let me know. Take care.